It's time to budget for the month of April. Hi, and welcome back. I'm Kamika, and this is Well Balanced Wallet, where I help you create healthy money habits and live a life that you love on your current budget. Today's video is going to be a budget with me video. I noticed in my Q&A that I had a couple of questions about living on last month's income, so I thought this would be a great way for you guys to see how we budget our money and live on last month's income. So let's get started. The budget software that I use is a YNAB, or You Need a Budget, and I love it. I've been using this budget software since 2015, and at that point we did get a month ahead on our budget, and we've been that way ever since. So I'm just going to take you through my budgeting process and point out a few things that we do for our budget. So the first thing that you may notice is the $746.01 in the to be budgeted section. And this is there because the state of Georgia decided to give K through 12 faculty and staff a $1,000 bonus. Now, I do not work in K through 12, but the university system that I do work for saw what the state of Georgia was doing, and they decided to use their own budget to provide the same bonus to the higher education faculty and staff. So I did get a $1,000 bonus in the month of March, and of course taxes were taken out. So that's where the $746 came from. So I need to figure out what to do with this money. What I think I'm going to do, we are going on a cabin trip at the end of April. So I think I'm going to do $600 from my bonus to go towards our trips. So I'll just scroll down here, put the $600 here, and we have $146.01 left over. And I think I will put that in the debt snowball category. So 146.01, and I may change that by the end of this video. I'm not sure. This is just the process that I use when I go through and budget my money. So as I mentioned earlier, we do live on last month's income, and we need $3,500 to cover all of our expenses, including savings and debt payoff per month. So every time we get paid, we put the money from our paycheck into our budget, and we just click on this forward button to take us to the next month, and we dump that money in this buffer category, and we just keep dumping the money there until we reach $3,500. And anything over $3,500 we usually split between debt snowball and our savings goals. So with that being said, this is our April budget. You see that we have the $3,500 here for our buffer. So what I do is zero that out, and now it becomes to be budgeted. This is the money that I'm going to budget for the month of April with. I just like to start in the monthly bills category and go straight down the line. So the first one is phone bill, and you can see over to the side how much money we spend on average for our phone bill. You can also see what we budgeted last month. So I'm going to do $80 for phone. The next one is internet, and it looks like we budgeted $111 last month, and we spent $111 last month. So I think we'll be good to do 111, and I can just click this button here and it'll fill it in with the amount that I clicked on. So next is electricity, and we typically spend $176. So to be safe, I'm gonna budget $180. The next one is gas, and I like to budget around $150 for gas, even though it says $114 here. At the end of the month, if we have money left over, I take it out of the category, so that's why it says $114, but I like to start out with $150. The next one is water, and we have water through our city. We don't have a well or anything like that, so Our water bill, we spent last month $63.13. I think that's good. I'll use the same amount. Car insurance was $97.26. Actually, no. Car insurance was $97.31. So I'm going to use that. Life insurance. So we do have life insurance policies through both of our jobs, but we also have an outside policy for each of us as well, just in case we decide that we don't want to work outside of the home anymore. We already have a life insurance policy in place, and we won't have to worry about that. So we need $31.88 for that. We're not paying on our student loans right now. For gym, I'm going to do the $13.96. I have a subscription for an online type of workout deal, and I may end up canceling that. I'm not sure. We'll see. For Apple Music, so it's typically Apple Music, but a lot of times any subscriptions that I've forgotten about gets absorbed into this category as well. So that's why it's so high at the $41.93. I think I'm going to do $25 for that. So let's move on. We're gonna go to our mortgage. So I budget $12.87 to our mortgage every month, and $12.87 is not the price of our mortgage. That's the amount that we were paying for rent, and I just continue to budget that money or that amount every month because why not? We were used to paying this amount anyway, so we have just been making, or we just started actually making principal only payments to our mortgage with the amount that is over the amount of our mortgage. Home maintenance and repairs, I already have money here because, like I said, we continue to get paid in excess of the $3,500. So we just decide what to do with that money at that point. So I put $232 there, and I don't want to put anything to this category yet because we're not making any updates to the home at this point. So for groceries, it's all over the place. I don't know. I'm going to do $340. For restaurants, I like to have $150. We don't typically spend $150. If you see, the average is $136, but I like to put $150 here, same as the gas category. If there's anything left over, we'll move that to our debt snowball. Okay, for our lifestyle categories, don't laugh, but my husband and I get $25 each for spending money. And that's just because when we first started budgeting, I was the only person working and I made $23,000 a year. So two people living on $23,000, and I wanted to make sure that we had money to have fun or to feel like we weren't being so restricted in our budget. So I just started budgeting both of us $25, and that's the money that we can spend each month on whatever it is that we want. And it sounds like a little bit, but once we both started working and both got raises, we just never increased that amount, and it just seems to work for us. I don't know. It's $25. So for household goods, that's like paper towels, toilet tissue, any toiletries, lotion, soap, toothpaste, toothbrush, anything like that comes out of our household goods category. So I'm going to do $100. We probably won't spend that much, but if it's there at the end of the month, we'll transfer it to our debt snowball. Miscellaneous, same thing. Anything that comes up that I'm not prepared for, I want to have $100 there. For entertainment, we haven't been doing much, so this category rarely gets used. I'm just gonna put $100 here. And then spur of the moment is if we want to like go on a day trip to the beach or something and we need to buy food or towels or whatever it is, anything that's spur of the moment that we didn't plan for, I just keep $100 here. And with anything else, if it's left over at the end of the month, then I will send it to our debt snowball. You can tell here we don't really use this one. Average budgeted is $10.50. So we'll probably end up transferring most of this to our debt snowball. Okay, what's next? So I have this category here because I do have a Christmas account where money from our checks go into the Christmas account, but we always end up needing more. So I joined a savings challenge, and my amounts that I need to save each month are here. It was a 12-month savings challenge, so I just calculated how much I was supposed to save each month so I don't have to keep looking back at the challenge. So for April it says $75, and I can put done here beside April so that I'll know that I contributed the April amount. So in the end it should be $1,340 in December, and with the way the world is going, we may just end up transferring that to our debt snowball at the end of the year too, depending on what happens between now and then. So Christmas account, we just do $20 per paycheck anytime we get paid, and I think we get paid twice in April. So we're gonna do $40, and I could just increase the amount of that we put into our Christmas account, but I don't feel like going through that hassle with the bank. It's a specific Christmas account, and it dumps the money into our regular checking account in October. So there are documents that you would need to fill out to change the amount, and I just don't want to go through that. So I'll just save it here as one of the savings, or as the savings challenge. All right, so new car, don't want to put anything here yet. I've already put money for trips there. For car maintenance, so my husband, I like to keep $600 here just for whatever comes up. So my husband got an oil change and his tires rotated in March. So I need to fill this category back up to $600. So that'll be, I think, $73.12. Yes. And then for medical, I like to keep $600 here as well. And I had a massage at my chiropractor, so I need to fill that back up. It is $95.57. Yes. All right. And then I'm not going to put anything for February right now. And if you're wondering why we have a category called February, it's because everything in our life happens in February. My birthday, my husband's birthday, our anniversary, and Valentine's Day. So we usually save for February events throughout the year. That way when February comes around, we won't mess up our budget trying to do different things. But for April, I don't want to put anything there just yet. So how much do we have left? We have $236.71 left. And what I usually do if we have money left is scroll up here and put it for our debt snowball. And now that's our budget. One other thing that I do when I budget is, I don't know if I mentioned it here, but we pay for everything on a credit card because we like to get the rewards points, which is cash back. So what I do is, in YNAB, when you make a purchase, you can make it from your credit card and you add that transaction into your credit card account on YNAB, and it pulls it from whatever category that it came from and adds it here. And that sounds confusing, but it's a great way to make sure that you're only spending money that you have. So this is the amount of money that we spent from the last time we paid the credit card off until now. We don't get charged any interest because I pay it off every time I do the budget. So I'm going to go ahead and make that payment now. I'll just open the Chase app on my phone. So I just opened the Chase app on my phone and I click on the credit card, click pay card. And the reason that the amount here is different from the amount in YNAB is because of the pending transactions. The pending transactions don't come to YNAB until they are no longer pending. So it's okay for me to pay this amount today and I still won't be charged any interest because those extra transactions are just pending. So I will do enter amount, and in YNAB it says $3,955.95. Done, and click next. Pay today. I schedule my payment, and that is that. So once that $3,955 comes through YNAB, then this amount here will be zeroed out and we start over. So that's how we budget our money. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about budgeting, using YNAB, living on last month's income, or anything that you saw me do here, and I will make sure to answer them. And if you like this style video, drop this emoji in the comments. That's all for this video. Be sure to give it a like, subscribe, and click the link on your screen right now for more Well Balanced Wallet content. See you there.